Hi, thanks for joining me on another quick look at Kickstarters ending this month in June. My name is Dan, one of your regular co-hosts on Spellstorm Miniatures. First up, we have a big one, Nemesis Lockdown. This is a standalone expansion to a huge board game Kickstarter, Nemesis, that was released last year. In this one, you're a survivor locked in an underground base with some really terrifying things, as you'll see on these pictures. Now, it gives you a cinematic experience that Nemesis was known for. It's a 1 to 5 player semi or full co-op with about 90 to 100 minutes per run, and they all are a little bit different. Of course, there are a few different pledge levels from the basic to expansions, and of course add-ons you can put on there as well. If you like what you're seeing, or you're just a big fan of sci-fi horrors and survival, get a nice cinematic experience, then you definitely want to go ahead and look this one up. And if you missed the first Nemesis, there is a pledge level to get that as well. You can even pick up these cute little space cats, so check out the link in the description below. Now to a bit smaller campaign, you have Classic Quest, the Dungeon Crawler, little tabletop miniature game that kind of reminds me a bit of Hero Quest. You have the square map tiles with a few different terrain and a bunch of metal heroes and villains, enemies as well. Some structures, plenty of token and custom dice as well. So this kind of definitely has an appeal if you enjoyed some of those more classic just dungeon crawler type games. This one might be worth checking out. There's just one pledge level that is about $106 US. BLOODFIELDS is another one for the 3D printer folks who want to get some nice files and some really cool miniatures, and probably a resin printer on most of these, although they do say some are FDM, but I know mine would probably have some issues with it. Now there's plenty of different models on here to look at, even some terrain that is OpenLock compatible, which is in a really nice system to see many people go into. What's really kind of neat and unique about this one is that they have their own system to play the miniatures with for your own wargame, supported by an app, along with monthly add-ons and other features that they're going to keep the game living on, including some prizes that you can win some really neat things. The longer you're with them, the bigger those prizes can be. There are a few pledge levels to check out if this is something that interests you. If you have your miniatures and you need to paint them, the RGG version 2 360 will help with that. Now this is an ergonomic holder and it enables a magnet on the bottom to help hold it. The version 1 did fall over a lot. There were some complaints, so this kind of helps fix that. The one problem is the magnet is going to be a sticky back, so you got to kind of put it on somewhere that you want to keep it. Maybe you could do a tray or something like that. Either way, the tops are interchangeable, so you can batch print a few with the same handle, so that's pretty nice, and they use a putty in order to hold them on there. CMON is launching their Volume 1 of comics, mixing their board games and miniatures into a graphic novel kind of series where you have Zombicide, Cthulhu, and Zombicide Invader. Now these are kind of neat in that they come with miniatures and some stories and cards as well. When you can get them, you can get 1, 2, or all 3 if you want, and the prices vary of course accordingly. Now it looks like you get about 6 to 8 miniatures along with each style of comic that you do. So it's definitely a fun one to look at and very well consider. These last 3 are going to be D&D related, starting off with the Dungeons Box Pocket. Now this is basically a compatible box for your smartphone to stick in. Along with carrying your dice and your miniature along, there's a magnetic top. Now you can even use it as a dice tray when you're playing your game. There's a variety of choices for color and design, along with the prices there, so go ahead and check them out. Now, are you looking for some magic items to include in your campaign? The Menagerie of Magic, a collection of magic items for D&D 5e, is about a 250-page compendium of all the magical items used in D&D and 5th edition. You can get it in PDF or hardcover form, really depends on what you want. There also are some magical cards that you can print out through Drive-Thru RPG, or you can get the physical ones depending on what your pledge level is at. Finally, we get to Roll and Play, the Game Master's Tabletop Toolkit. Now this is a generator to help you get through your games a little bit easier, because sometimes it's hard to think of some things that you want to put in your plots or items. Now this is going to essentially be a little notebook that you can just take along and roll a chart. There you go, you got an adventure on the way. It's great if you're trying to pre-plan it, or if you just want to go on the fly, maybe your adventures throw you through a little bit of a twist. There are a few different pledge levels to look at, so go ahead and check this one out as well. Again, all the links are in the description below, and if you're liking this content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.